Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is easy to me. Happening in the weekend and later. Okay, we do something to public culture that is not just with the it's not always true. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to charges that make people or evil. Again, in recent months, there are other Liberia. Talk to people in your community for violence. Stand up. Change your step. In your community here. You are more than half of all the active population in your community. So this is women.
Granny, what are you thinking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shopping yesterday.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exodus Best Buy Store in Grove Street and Smartwood Junction in the Old World?
Oh no, Charles, tell me about it.
Exodus Best Buy Store got everything from the shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of popular products and important beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, or whatever occasion jump into a break of dawn, Exodus Best Buy Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo V5 that comes in four different flavors. Full blue, apple kiwi, full red, and Christmas orange. It's good for athletes and everyone from all wholesale and retail supply. Call number 0770-617-575. Exodus Best Price Store on Wella Street and Auburn Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
He said, "Hey, when you want some more apple pie, there's always startup something. No one number 18 people to be started.
Are you in search of a place you can get quality petroleum products? Well, I got news for you. Mayoba and Sons Incorporated is the company to meet all your petroleum needs. We are one of Liberia's leading importers and distributors of petroleum products on the Liberian market. We are fully capacitated to deliver your petroleum and diesel products anywhere in Liberia. Mayoba and Sons Incorporated, we do rental of dump trucks, tanker trucks, heavy equipment, V8, front loader, excavator. Our clearing and forwarding agency is fast, reliable, and can deliver your goods on time. Mayoba and Sons have improved the quality of reconstituted distribution and importation by financial institutions empowerment. Our head offices are located at the Bonneville Town Hall Junction on Bonneville Road and Freeport Super Compound on the Bourgeois Island. For more information, call us on cell numbers 0886 512 379, 0777 512 379, or 0777 255 030, or email us Mayoba, MAYOUBAHS at yahoo.com, or visit our website www.mayobaliberia.com. Our mission is to keep petroleum on the Liberian market stable, effective, and efficient. Our vision is that our president be felt in the 15 counties with outstanding commitment. Mayoba and Sons, Liberia's pride.
Oh, good morning, folks. Good morning. It's good to be back on your radio this morning. Good morning, wherever you are joining us. We like to say welcome to the program for the print news here on Freedom Communications Incorporated. Welcome to a brand new edition of the program from the print news. Today is Monday. It marks the first working day of the week, and of course, we are very energized to be here. And good morning, Andrea.
Good morning, Esther. Good morning to our many listeners. Welcome to the program from the Print News.
Good morning, God.
Good morning, Esther, Wendell, Liberia, Dr. Foreman. Glad to be here. Hey, the static is still on. I think it started last week. It's just static and big time. It's static. It's just static, and so the people listening to us just ask them. It's making a static sound.
Okay.
Well, hey, hope that will get better. But folks, good morning. Welcome to the program from the Print News. Today is Monday, the 15th of July, 2024. Esther and I, together with us in our studio this morning, we have the Daily Observer and the Front Page Africa newspaper. And so we will now begin the reading of the Front Page newspaper.
But
And
just before we go through it, we'd like to recognize our sponsors.
okay, you're right
We'd
about
like to
that.
recognize Camp Stop of Liberia, Mariba and Sons, Excellent Best Price Store on the Gallery Street and the Oro. We would like to recognize you guys because you're doing a team of work to have us here.
All right, so thank you very much for that recognition. So let's begin the reading and let's get to some top stories. Ending the phoning contract, Ghanaian company left in the cold as Rabat's international airport security outsourcing deal revoked by board. And we see the photograph of the head of the Liberia Airport Authority, Mr. Mansell, is photographed alongside. We see them in the pictorial. This pictorial shaking hands with the Minister of State, who is also the Chief of Office Staff, Sylvester Grisby. And so let me take few lines from the story. Let me see what the story is all about. And you know, it's not easy with me. I'm battling the court. So let's see what the story is all about. Front page Africa newspaper has gathered that the board of directors of the Liberia Airport Authority has voted unanimously to halt the operations of a Ghanaian security firm that was forced to take over the security department of the Ravas International Airport. According to sources, the former board of directors of the LAA during the George Weah administration, headed by veteran soccer star Musa Shana, outsourced the Ravas International Airport Security Department to a Ghanaian company called SAS Star Africa Aviation Security Services. Sources have it that the board has also mandated the current managing director of the LAA, Honorable Gerald H. Mensko, to forward the phoning contract to the Office of the National Security Advisor to the President immediately for his advice. Mr. Mansfield did not respond to FPA inquiry when contacted by phone. Civil aviation experts say with the swift manner and form in which the current board of directors of the LAA is moving, things might just begin uh, getting better at Liberia's only international airport. According to our source, the board is doing very well with these moves. These are the things the board of directors should be doing. Checkmating exercise in the best interest of these institutions. The statutory source hinted that upon the advice of the board, the management will replace all the old, outdated, and faulty navigation systems at the RIA through a company called Lutech, a move that will greatly improve the performance of the airport and attract international carriers. So we leave that story right there because of time. Let's take some more headlines. And it says here, defrauding government of millions. Chinese nationals and Liberians sued for economic sabotage, tax evasion, and criminal conspiracy. You can grab a copy of the front page Africa newspaper. And another story says, these are top stories we reading. A wonderful life, family, friends, and loved ones bade farewell to Emmanuel Nuku Reeve Jr. in churching service. And we get to the big stories now on the front page. Ex-President, we are giving heroes welcome by supporters, fuels speculation of political comeback, very fresh and prepared to come back. This is the original president of Liberia. He is back. He is very fresh and is prepared to come back to the presidency. Come what may, George Weah is the next president come 2029. The activities of his return to the presidency start now. Rep. Frank Safoko Jr., District 9, Montserrat County. All right, few lines from there. Let's grab few lines. All right, we are there. It says the Rabat International Airport was a buzz over the weekend as current and former lawmakers, National Executive Committee members, party stalwarts, and well-wishers of the Congress for Democratic Change welcomed their political leader and former president of Liberia, George Weah, back into the country after more than a month. Despite the huge presence of supporters, there was no official program conducted. However, a convoy accompanying the former president to his home. Additional programs are expected to be organized subsequently while he is in town. According to the party's Secretary General Jefferson Cody, who posted on his Facebook page, VIP launched claims and counterclaims. Before the highly publicized arrival of the former president, There were calls by partisans to allow the CDC's standard bearer to use the presidential lounge, citing his status as a former president and the fact that he had dedicated it 7 years ago before leaving office. In an effort to resolve the matter, Inspector General of Police Coleman met with former Montserrat County District Number 8 Representative Kairos Gray to discuss using the VIP lounge instead of the presidential lounge for the former president. However, the conversation did not go well, and the police RG walked out on Gray. Later, RG Coleman told journalists that the VIP lounge is accessible to the former Liberian leader, not the presidential lounge. The vice president, government officials, and former president have access to the VIP lounge. The VIP lounge is ready to receive former President Weah. The presidential lounge is for the president and visiting presidents. So he has access to the VIP lounge, and nobody is denying former President Weah, Aji Coleman said. All right, so that's it. Let's take our last story on the front page and send controls to Esther. Filling the void at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, a tricky dilemma for President and his ruling Unity Party. JNB finance predicament. And we see since the resignation of former Finance Minister Burma Kamara, President Joseph Walker and close aides have been struggling to find a replacement capable of resurrecting an economy in shambles. In line with the ruling Unity Party's pledge to fix the economy during its campaign for the presidency, in recent days, however, Front Page Africa has learned that a series of unforeseen circumstances have made the president's decision rather complicated. FPA takes a look at the names being thrown around the corridors of the executive mansion. So let's take few lines from that story. Let's take few lines and know who are those, battling for the position of Minister of Finance. When Burma Kamara submitted his resignation, citing health reasons to President Joseph Walker last week, the decision not only threw a monkey wrench into the ruling Unity Party's economic agenda, but also pivoted the government toward a crisis point. In the wake of ethical questions surrounding the yellow machines controversy, which the president now argues in a letter to the national in the build-up, I think it should be the national legislature, in the build-up to his presidency, on the campaign trail, and on the day of his inauguration, the newly minted president had trumpeted his desire to revive the economy which has party contended his falling in the old doldrums of the Dodge presidency of his predecessor George Weah. In his speech in January, the president also pledged to reduce hardships and alleviate the suffering of the masses under the mantra of his party's rescue mission, a phrase that resonated with voters on the campaign trail, drawing a glaring contrast between the former ruling Coalition for Democratic Change and what the UP promised would be a much better government with the hallmark of transparency, accountability, and good governance, often lacking in the Wias administration. With Kamara gone, whoever the president settles on will be taking on a huge responsibility, overseeing an economy both the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund project could see a 4.8% rise this year, driven by expansion in mining, services, and agriculture. While much of Liberians' problems in recent years have been brought by issues relating to rocketing exchange rates, the risks from climate change, according to the World Bank, could undercut the economy and push more Liberians into poverty. While Liberians is among the lowest emitters of greenhouse gases responsible for global climate change, the WB says Liberia is still among the most vulnerable countries to climate impacts. For instance, rice, Liberia's main staple food, is highly reactive to increased humidity, extreme temperatures, heavy rainfall, and the pests that flourish under these conditions. The CCDR finds that Liberia rain rice production could be reduced by up to 13% over 2041 to 2050 from climate change compared to the baseline scenario. The resultant decrease in income and heightening reliance on costly imports could exacerbate poverty and food insecurity for many Liberians' households. While the Barker administration has outlined its vision for Liberia's development through the ARES agenda, the acronym representing agriculture, roads, rule of law, education, sanitation, and tourism, the first 6 months have been dominated by the quest of fill hotly contested job opportunities and ongoing struggle to complete the budget process. In the coming days, the government, which recently established an asset recovery and property retrieval task force to pursue allegations of illegal acquisition of wealth and property, is expected to commence prosecution of officials of former government in hopes of improving concerns lingering in the donor community that the government has taken its eyes off the legal regarding transparency and accountability. All this as the country is experiencing rising inflation driven by increases in transport and food prices. Diplomatic and political observers all agree that the choice for the president is simple: tip a minister with the right pedigree on the economy and the respect of international stakeholders in the donor community. Since the resignation of Mr. Kamara, President Joseph Boakai and close aides have been struggling to find a replacement capable of resurrecting the failing economy. In recent days, however, Front Page Africa has learned that a series of unforeseen circumstances have made the president's decision rather complicated. Front Page Africa takes a look at the five names being thrown around the corridors of the executive mansion and how the president and his inner circle are handling the delicate dilemma. Augustin Gapoin, Dr. George Fonderson, John Sembi Molo II, and the list continues. So we will stop you right here. So those are some of the names in the corridors to replace Boyman Kamara, Augustine N. Gapoin, Dr. George Fonderson, James, that's John Sembi Molo II, and continuation of that story is on page 3. Let's see the last two names. We also see John Davis, formerly of LBDI, and others. So those are the names in the corridors of the executive mansion to replace Boyma Kamara. So we can stop here and send controls to Esther to bring us the Daily Observer copy.
All right, all my decks is the Daily Observer this morning, and we're interested in all of the stories here this morning. Cartel leader Gao Feng indicted for illicit mining tax evasion remains at large, protected allegedly by some officials of the executive and legislative branches of government. Imagine. And this story is on page 10. We will take some lines from this story. Okay, it's right here. Liberian authority have indicted Gao Feng, also known as Barry, in the alleged rear Minister of Mines for lending a massive illegal mining operation or leading. The indictments access Gao Feng and several associates, both Liberian and Chinese nationals, of economic sabotage, tax evasion, and criminal conspiracy. The indictment paints a picture of a sprawling, ill- illegal mining network. Gaofeng Cartel is alleged to have operated for at least 6 years, utilizing over 100 excavators in 50 washing plants across Liberia. This widespread activity is estimated to have deprived the Liberian government of over US 29 million in revenue. The indictment specifically focuses on the operations in Buffalo County where they are accused of encroaching on the licensed exploration area of New York Global Mines and New York's Incorporated, disrupting legitimate mining operations. Mining companies and individuals indicted by the government include Zing Leader Investments Limited, represented by Zhang Yi, Urban and New York Services Recovery, represented by Mutanga Barry Scott Investment Corporation, represented by Randy Scott, and Liberia Shin Development Corporation Limited, represented by Lin Lianzhu and Gao Feng, aka Barry. Others are Mo Halong, affiliate with Zhao Zanhi, Mistress Zhang Qing, Li Liangsong, Hui Nazin, Hui Dong, I tell you. And the name goes on. It says that and we thought as though multiple host companies represented by Rania Do and Rania Do. Okay, all of these are names. Let's come here. Quickly Barry and his co-heads were indicted by the state for economic sabotage, tax evasion, and criminal conspiracies against the government of Liberia. Total amount of US 29,878. I'm sorry, 29,878,556 US dollars for illicit mining within Beverly County. Government investigations travel ban in response to complaints and growing awareness of the illegal mining. The Minister of Mines and Energy under Minister will must pay long investigations that are accumulated in rates of Galfin mining sites in Beverly County. While seven associates were apprehended, Galfin and many others managed to escape. To prevent Galfin and its associates from fleeing the country, a writ of arrest has been issued alongside the travel ban by the directive of the George Steppenwolf, Magistrate of the Meridian City Court, Center of Justice, and the extra Republican was received was issued on July 10, 2024, preventing Galvin and his associates from leaving the bowels of the Republic of Liberia. The travel ban is an extraordinary action which should grow out of a mini action, but there was no case before the court to have cited at attachments. We will leave you here and look at more stories on the front page of this paper. President Bouakatu headline Golden Image Awards fourth edition Monrovia. Speaker Kofi Dubong claims of convening, colluding with executive. Okay, that's the story right here. We're going to take some line. It says, Councillor Jeff Nancy Kofi, Speaker of the 55th Legislature, has termed as misinformation and falsehood accusation made by Reptile Wongi of Nima County District 9 and Chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee that the Speaker has convened with the executive branch is lackadaisical over seeking benefits for members of the lower house, has colluded with the executive against the interests of the Liberian people. When he also alleged that a completion is on this turn of this paper, the Speaker has assured the executive of a free pass at the legislature. In a detailed clarification in a Facebook post, Speaker Colford categorically addressed the allegations, complaining that there had been a misunderstanding or mispresentation of his stance on national issues, especially remarks made during a working dinner with President Joseph Umabwaka Sr. In response to allegations of colluding with the executive, Colford alleged challenged Wongwi to present evidence for any bill or action that went against Liberia's interests to reaffirm his nonpartisan management of the plenary and his dedication to enhancing or enacting legislation beneficial to Liberia. Kofa also addressed the topic of budget alliterations, mentioning steps taken to analyze discrepancies in the House's budget. Kofa clarified that at the Agro-Commercial dinner, he had urged the president to stop pushing bills through a partisan outfit known as the Rescue Bloc and emphasized the executive bills should be sent to the House leadership, which controls the agenda. He stressed that at no time did he commit to passing all bills without scrutiny or regard for the people's interest in the rule of law. Speaker Kofa reiterated his commitment to scrutinizing bills and upholding the rule of law. Kofa also emphasized his efforts to address issues such as the yellow machine problem and ensure transparency in audits at the legislature, highlighting his proactive approach to audits and addressing members' benefits. Regarding the transparency in audits at the legislature, Kofa highlighted that he is the only speaker in Liberia's history to sign up for audits of the House. He noted that the Auditor General advised setting up the system before conducting audits and that he had no control over the place of General Auditing Commission's work. He assured that steps were being taken to ensure audits are done in a vast way to familiarize himself with the issue. All right, that's the story. Let's bring you at the back page of the Daily Observer this morning. Western clusters roll user permits suspended again. Senate pressures public works into action. The Ministry of Public Works has again suspended the road user permits of Western Cluster Limited after immense pressure exerted by senators on the Capitol Hill over the damage the company is causing to national infrastructure. Due to sustained pressure from the Liberian Senate, the Ministry of Public Works has suspended the road user permit granted to Western Cluster Limited for the commercial hauling of iron ore along the free port of Monrovia to Bowman Field Road Corridor. Senate Pro Temple Kanga Lawrence posted on a Facebook page on Friday. Recently, numerous senators have raised alarms about the operations of Western Coastal Liberia Limited, describing them as a fiasco and endangers lives, destroys public infrastructure, and depletes national resources for the benefit of foreign entities. The Pro Temple noted that an investigation by the Senate unequivocally demonstrated that WCL cannot fulfill its agreement with the government. Key findings reveal that WCL has constantly delayed the construction of a railroad and port in Grand Hitman County, opting instead to use public roads for transporting iron ore. This misuse has caused significant damage to the infrastructure. She said Western Cluster was hit with its first suspension in April after a visit by President Joseph Numa Bwaka in the concession area and enraged Bwaka slammed the company's door, causing more harm to the country than the relief that the mineral development agreement signed with the government had established. The president lamented that the company's operation was not only damaging national infrastructure, it was also putting the lives of residents at risk. A few weeks after the president's outburst, the Public Works Minister suspended the company's permits, asking for some compliance efforts from the management. However, a little over a fortnight ago, the ministry lifted the suspension, instructing Western Cluster to proceed with its operation. All right, finally, for the back page of this paper, Liberian human rights defenders face threats as war crimes court looms. So far, so good. There'll be the stories we have from the Daily Observer. Let's make a quick
Thank you. Thank you very much, Esther. We're going to take our break. When we come back, we'll join Gus Coleman. But just before we go for our break, let me just recap quickly. Esther, let me get that Daily Observer. Let me recap the stories we
of course.
brought you quickly, then we go for our break. All right, these are the stories we brought you from the front page Africa newspaper. Ending the phoning contract, Ghanaian company left in the cold as Rabat International Airport security outsourcing deal revoked by board. Another top story says defrauding government of millions, Chinese nationals and Liberians sued for economic sabotage, tax evasion, and criminal conspiracy. And lastly, for top stories, a wonderful life, family, friends, and loved ones bade farewell to Emmanuel Nuku Reeves Jr. in church and service. And these are the big stories from the front page Africa. Ex-president, we are given heroes welcome by supporters, fuel speculation of political comeback, very fresh and prepared to come back. This is the original president of Liberia. He is back, he is very fresh and in prepared and is prepared to come back to the presidency. Come what may, George Weah is the next president come 2029. The activities of his return to the presidency start now. Rep. Frank Safoko Jr., District Number 9, Monserrate County. And then finally, filling the void at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, a tricky dilemma for President and his ruling Unity Party. GNB's finance predicament. Since the resignation of former Finance Minister Buema Kamara, President Joseph Boakai and close aides have been struggling to find a replacement capable of resurrecting an economy in shambles. In line with the ruling Unity Party's pledge to fix the economy during its campaign for the presidency, in recent days, however, Front Page Africa has learned that a series of unforeseen circumstances have made the president's decision rather complicated. Front Page Africa takes a look at the names being thrown around the corridors of the executive mansion. And then the Daily Observer is our next presentation. We are recapping the stories we brought you. Cartel leader Gao Feng indicted for illicit mining and tax evasion remains at large, protected allegedly by some officials of the executive and legislative branches of government. And another story says President Waka to headline Golden Image Award 14th edition in Monrovia. And another story says Speaker Kofa debunks claims of conniving and colluding with executive. Let's take you to the back page. The back page, Western Clusters road user permits suspended again. Senate pressure public works into action. And lastly, Liberian human rights defenders face threats as war crimes court looms. These are all the stories we brought you this morning. We're going to take our break. When we come back, we're going to be hearing from Gus Coleman. So let's catch up with our break.
Yeah, I just want Marlon is not part of the process. Marlon, we started the high school here on we cannot tell us how to do it. Some of the people who just make it out of time and not doing something. We are supposed to do. We're all the time and all so much work to do. This is so
So, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shopping list. Are you
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exodus Best Price Store in Grove Street, Sparkville Junction, and Hillville?
Oh no, Charles, tell me about it.
Exodus Best Price Store got everything for your shopping yesterday. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of Columbia products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, or whatever occasion, don't until the day is gone. Exodus Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Wheat Wire that comes in four different flavors: full blue, apple kiwi, full red, and Cooper's orange. It's good for athletes and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exodus Best Price Store on Valley Street and the Broadway Sparkville Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
Folks, welcome back to the Free News. And don't forget to know that this morning the Freedom Cash giveaway continues. You can play it, all right, and win 4,000 Liberian dollars. The lady sitting next to me is the lady that's going to deliver you the money. So
Right.
you can play. This is how you play. You don't need a bigger phone. You need a button phone. Just make sure you have money on your NTM mobile money account. All right, big phone or small phone or all can play the cash giveaway. So you go and dial *79 a hash. You go to 11. Select 11. You put the amount you want to play. The whether in US or Liberian dollar. You enter that first. You put your password in and then you send. All right, 12:30. Esther is going to come back and give out, you
Oh,
know,
those guys.
4,000 Liberian dollars.
So each person is not for
Good.
one person.
So Gus, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the stories. I think the president, former president, returned back. I mean, I watched a little bit of it. It was good. I mean, but I wish there was more better planning. In the sense that I'm not sure when he got there time wise to actually meet. I know a lot of people like to meet at the airport. I mean, I just think more of a press conference or something like that would have been really good, for the president coming back. But it was glad to see him. I mean, it was nice to see him again, jubilant, and look like he looks ready to go. So, but it was nice to see him and his team and whatnot. Um, the replacement of finance minister, I don't know. I don't think they're serious. I'll be honest with you. There's only one person that can make a difference, in my opinion, but I don't think he will ever take it because, again, like I said, I ain't bragging. There's no bragging. I always say there are certain people I know that don't will never come to Liberia because of what Liberia offers them, but they will come there because of what they can do for Liberia. Former president is one. Most of the generations of Liberians that had the opportunity to leave Liberia and go to high school and college and outside of Liberia, most of them would not just come to Liberia uh, just to get a job in Liberia because they have been given the opportunity. Molu is one. John S. Molu is one. I respect the man. People don't like him because of the way he carry himself. But again, it's just confidence. If you succeed in the greatest country in the world, why
Hmm.
would you want to take BS from somebody in one of the poorest country in the world? You know what I'm saying? It
Hmm.
just doesn't make sense. This man is successful out of Liberia. You think he's going to come to Liberia and have somebody that has never been successful in their own country without government job to tell them what to do? No, he's not going to listen to that. That's nonsense to him, you know. And those are guys that could probably go in the finance ministry. From all indication, that's one of the reasons why this guy is leaving. That will say, "Hey, why are you sending me this invoice?" That will critique the invoice. That will tell you, "Hey, you know what? We don't have money, Mr. President, to do this. We don't have money, so and so, to do this." But people like that would not suffice in Liberia because I don't think this administration will be interested in a Molu, because the Grispies and they will not be happy with that, and I don't think they can handle it. So I see Molu was not going to happen. Gafon more than likely could happen, but again, my problem with Gafon is the brother is doing well, and again, he's from Lofa. I don't think it's the best thing to do to have another person from Lofa in that position. I'm one of those that don't believe in these things. That was one of my criticism of the former president. Like everybody from the southeast, you have to be able to balance the government because, again, optics matters. When people look
Mhm.
around, they just see certain things. It's easy for them to just find a reason. You know what I'm saying? So I don't
Mhm.
think Gafuan would be a great choice. I think Gafuan would be a mistake on his part to take that job because I think he still got 2 years on his contract with the African Development Bank. So I wouldn't do it.
So,
I
so,
would.
so, 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 Gus, if you were asked to select amongst the five, who would be your choice?
I would, but again, the person I mentioned, actually, if I go about the Lofa situation, he can't. Who would be John Malu? John Malu would have been the best of all of them, but he can't. The other person that I really like, I'll be honest with you, is Davis, John Davis. So let me give you an example. When this guy was at LBDF, on one
Mhm.
of my trips to Liberia, we happened to travel together. And I didn't know this guy was that high up, as in banker. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And we just struck a conversation. We became friends. For over 10 or so years, I lost track of him, I'll be honest, the last 6 years. But we had regular conversations. And this was a man on the plane that just struck a conversation with me. We started talking and we just became friends from that.
Mhm.
And I've watched and listened to a lot of people that have said that this man was a very, very is a professional. He knows what he's doing, but he's straightforward. Everywhere he's been, there is no issues. So I think that would be a dark horse. I think that would be something that if the president picks somebody like him, I think it would be somebody monetarily will help Liberia. Because that's the other thing we forget, right? The
Mhm.
finance minister is not just writing a check. They're supposed to help with everything, development, planning. This person is supposed to say, "Hey, Mr. President, here is a budget. How much we have in? You say your project. You say your main goal is to do agriculture or roads or whatsoever, Mr. President. This amount. This is what we're going to need to even get this road from here to there." Our finance ministers don't even do that in our society, which is kind of bad if you think about it. In America, when you have like Jenny Yellen and all those people that we've had as those people that we call finance minister in Liberia, they're the one that tell the president and the country that, look, you know what, we're going to do something with the interest rate. All these things got to change because of all these inflation issues that we're having. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I mean, you need somebody like that, especially coming from the banking sector. I think it would do the government well to look into something like that instead of another political appointee, another recycled government official. So for me, um, John Davis would be. I hope I'm getting his. I don't know if it's Davis or David. It would be the best.
Davis.
Yeah, it would be the best for me if you ask me on that for that. There was something else about concession. Was that what? Oh no, the stuff at the airport. Again, that was long overdue. I don't believe that our airport should be. securitized or managed by a foreign company. Again, I tell you guys all the time, one thing I've always done in life is make friends, good friends. And one of the reasons why we have problem with getting international flights to Liberia is security. Until we have decent security that people can trust, there's no way international flights are coming to Liberia and going on. Because, I mean, we cannot go from Liberia to America where they don't even know, you know, who was bringing drugs in or who was doing what and whatnot. You have to be able to take care of those things. And I think there are Liberian companies, there are Liberians that don't have jobs. You can open up the market to other Liberians to be able to manage that. And I think you'll do well by that. Plus, also, you can prosecute Liberians. Can you prosecute a Nigerian or somebody else that if something happens in those places? No, you know. So I think that's long overdue. I think it was a good move on their part. Let's get Liberians in there, and we go from there. What else did I miss? I think that's about it, right? Was there any other topic
Yeah.
that you're interested in?
Oh, the other one had to do with the suspension of the road user permit by Western Cluster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, again, I believe Western Cluster. Again, tell Western Cluster if you want to use the road, build it. Don't repair it, build it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we have to do. It costs a lot of money to build those roads. Western Cluster is not stupid. This is why they don't want to have anything to do with building it. That's why they would rather give you peanuts so government officials can put it in their pocket, and then they can continue to use the roads and export and remove our material, raw material, and make billions of dollars. Why they give you millions of dollars? You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I mean, you do the math. Which one do you want? Do you want the billions or do you want the millions? You know. So I mean, that's how business works. So I think again, it's in a good trend. I think you have to suspend a lot of these things. You have to put a halt to them and start all over. Liberia should not be dealing with concessions. Liberia, I think we need to do more of a partnership agreement instead of all these concessions. You know, you want this? Hey, we own the raw product. Give us 40%, you take 50%. I think that's fair, you know, because you're bringing all your
Mhm.
stuff, you're doing all of this stuff. We'll give you the majority share, but you need to give us something. We can't just keep giving this stuff away, you know. And
Mhm.
concessions, if you really look at the amount we get up front, it doesn't even amount to much. You know, if you look at our budget, most of these concessions, they don't even cover our budgets, you know, for like 2 years, 3 years, or whatsoever. If you make a partnership plan where you're getting 40, 60, 40, or whatever, you think about it on the lifespan of that, you're getting more money, you know? So, but I don't know. The people in leadership, most of them, I'll be honest with you, have never dealt with money in their real life. I've never dealt with investment in their real life. So they don't understand how much time how much you gain over time in investing.
Okay.
Okay, as opposed to how much money you get right up front. Right up front money might sound good, but it doesn't do you anything. Long term investment makes a whole lot of sense. That's why Firestone signed you that contract, right? For what was it, 99 years? Because Firestone understood in 99 years how much money they will make. Liberia did not. And that's what we continue to do. The All Black, we did the same thing. Over the long term, how much are these companies going to gain? You know, some of these people have not even started exploring, but they own those blocks. When they start
Mhm.
exploring, guess what? All the money they gave us is already gone. They're just going to be using us going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gus Palmer. And I'll tell you too many things to talk about today. The arrival of the ex-president over the weekend at the Ravos International Airport, where he was greeted by supporters of the CDC, current and ex-government officials. And we've also been told that The president is finding it difficult to have Boama Kamara replacement at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. Who is best suited for the position is the complicated thing now the president is faced with. All right, because he wants somebody who can resurrect this economy that we've been told is already in shambles. So these are some of the top stories in the borough of Newport. I'm told there was huge police presence. They are trying to put into office today the governor, who was named by President Waka, but the eighth nominated district are saying that Waka is in total violation of the organic law of that borough. And so they would do everything to put up a resistance to make sure that, you know, President Waka choice is not given the seat today. So as we speak, there is huge police presence in the borough of Newport Town, and our reporters are already there. We hope to speak to them before we can leave here today. So these are some of the issues unfolding, and we will now go to the comment section, read your comments, and come back and take your calls. So Esther is going to do the comments for us. All right. So let me give Esther the time to get prepped up to bring us the comments.
All right, from the comment section, let's see those comments we have this morning. We have Alaska Payne says watching from India. We have Payman Kasmizi watching. We have Venetia's Journal Boss is watching from Point 4. We have Duarte says good morning, Minnesota from Minnesota. Happy Monday. We have Saturday Wundwe says watching from Atlanta, GA USA. Good morning to you guys. And we have Jerome Wire says good morning, Women and Esther. Thanks for the show. We have Michael Kamj says good morning to you guys. Welcome back. We have Abenji Ali says good morning. My name is Clarence Dweck. I'm watching from my hustle ground on the Zaytown Douala Road, most abandoned corridor in Monrovia. You sometimes you want to regret being a Liberian, especially you have people that have swear to protect the rules of law in our country, having very behaving very irresponsible. Joseph Boga, you are a disgrace to generation. You lie to our people. Mother Besa says thank you, brother and sister. And Clarence Dwyer says the National Army have become a political institution. Joseph Wagai deployed our military men at the airport for we are a rival. What a shame. And Moba Besa again says for the USA. James Lamin says good morning, Freedom FM. Vamuya M for Finance says good morning. I'm watching. David Yinkan says good morning, Freedom FM family. Watching from Grandpa's County, Compound 3. We have Jiba Kamar says good afternoon to my Freedom FM family. Good to be back again. Kids of the Double He says good morning. My Freedom FM family, I'm watching from a Popo corner, having some gentleman agreements with my longtime friend to bring in planes for Liberia.
Get it a
But
not small milk.
by Junior Sam says, good evening, Freedom FM regular listener following from Grandpa's County, Preston Street. Joe Nangwe says, good morning, Mr. Nimne. I'm watching from Southtown Drive, coffee from Caldwell. Yesterday, you hit the nail on the head by playing TLC Red Light Special. You reminded you reminded me of my days in Cathedral Catholic School 1995 to 96. That was awesome from you old school music hero. And Jay Manuel Knight says, good morning, folks at Freedom FM. How you guys doing? Thanks goes to you guys for updating us through 168 hours. The leaders we need in Liberia should be a wisdom minded leader, not experienced with plainless mind. I'm following from Johnsonville behind Heart of Grace, J. Waluba, more by Janice, yeah. And Grace Caesar Divine Grace Bryson Jr. says, good morning. Sorry, welcome back to His Excellency President Dr. George Maniwia. Liberia all time best. Comfort Cooper says no sound. I think it's okay now. J. Manuel Knight says, let this government read this scripture from the Holy Bible, Proverbs 1:7. Rebecca Colo says, good morning, my Freedom family. Edza Gay says, good morning, Freedom FM family. Amos Nelson, 2 minutes, say, watching from Boulevard, Duncan Gas Station. Austin Duas says, good morning, I'm watching from Lakpasi community. Eric Michael says, Wendell, good morning to you this morning, watching you from the United States.
Morning to you, Eric.
Esther, good morning to you watching live this morning from the United States. Good morning to you too. Stephen Eba says following the show from Dakar, Senegal. Rebecca Colo says, good morning. I'm watching from the USA, Figo ND. Holy Josh says, good morning. Beatrice Joe says, good morning, guys. Thanks for everything you do for Mama Liberia. Henry Yango says, following you guys from my end on this wet Monday evening. Thanks for the great update. Peter White says watching from Minnesota, USA. Something Diaz says watching from Pinsville, Soul Clinic, Community District 4, Monterrey County. Marcus Gita says good morning, watching from Sophie Congo Town. Samuel Andrews Chinoway says thank you. I am watching from Yanford Town. So far, so good. When these are all the comments we have.
Thank you very much, Esther. Let's take some calls now with the few minutes we have. Let's interact with our followers. 0776 104 104 086 500 104. The female line is 0770 So you can call, and the WhatsApp number for those of you outside Liberia +231 86 500 104. We brought you too many talking points this morning relative to the borough of Newtown, where we've been told currently there's huge police presence, and also the president complicated decision about who's going to replace Wema Kamara at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. And also, you can speak to the arrival of the ex-president, Dr. George Manawia, who arrived in the country on Saturday via the Rabas International Airport. So let's go to the phone lines and take our very first caller. We're going to give you a minute to speak, and please respect the time. Hello?
Good morning, Wither.
Yeah.
Good morning, Esther. How you people doing?
We are okay.
We're
Thanks for
fine.
asking.
Okay, we have to be so concerned about people who give us the information that's on how you guys having them. But let me get to the point. My name is Alex Tim. I call from people in other communities to reside for the Wall Street and 20th Street trader. Thank you very much. Some of us have lived in this country for so many years. We've experienced a whole lot. And we decided to make George Weah our president and leader of our political institution because when we petitioned George Weah, we told him it's the only representation of the youth and the common people, your origins, we believe in you. So whenever George Weah is up there, those few that are much better than us will have something to do. But we are very sorry to say that Joseph Newman Burkhardt, you are in error. You are also from the country background. You told us that you walk from distances to go to school. It's the same as George. We are taking it as your son because he has respected you a whole lot. And very common. Don't see Liberian to be full. The job here is for you. We have great leaders that were serving police directions and they're around here. Today they are nowhere around. The legacy is what we live on. Government down, you have no respect. We want you to respect George Manawia. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's take you this person. Welcome to the show. Hello.
Good afternoon, yeah.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mawate. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for the show. And for the public, this is how what is actually responsible for putting together. I want to welcome my president back in the country. And I want to say a recognition, thank you. I was at the airport yesterday. I want to say welcome, my father. Welcome back to your motherland. We're waiting for 2029. We're there to the finance in this trip. You know that people came with lies in this country. They went to the border came to power. They will not be well. I'm talking to you. I'm talking with you. They wanted for every one of us. We want for election. For the kind of campaign that Joseph Makade for the kind of bad thing that happened in the country. For Joseph Makade to take power. Why is all through Washington? See, when they say president, we are gay. What they know that was lie would not be well with him.
Okay.
When they let them bring Jesus Christ to that place, and that's for Jesus Christ. Whosoever wants to get degree, they will not be well with the government. Because they never get to power. They had the give to power with wickedness. Our country will be safe, but the wicked people will be uprooted. Don't take it this after.
Thank you. That's my Walter. Let's keep the calls coming in. 0776-1414. Let me take this person. Hello.
We know how you're doing, though.
We fine. Thanks for asking. Is this Edmund?
Yeah, this is Edmund Carr.
All right, Edmund, it's good having you as our third caller. Let's hear your contribution.
Yeah, let me say welcome back to my president. You know, that would be the first thing I would say. Welcome back to my president. We thank you and thank God that you are back. And also congratulate us as the nation that continuously believing in our president and listening to him. Because what the Unity Party people are trying to do, they are trying all means to push us to do what we don't want to do. And I was seeing on another platform. No matter what the president come out, you tell our former president come out, you tell us some of these things will be angry in our spirit. And then the law will reveal to us, say, hey, you don't have to be angry. The president is doing the right thing. These guys want to use us to destroy that which we built as according to what the president said, and that is the fight. Because why will be deploying police, you'll be deploying army before the arrival of the president. It's to push us to scatter things and they say, oh, that the decision was the cause of all that doing XYZ. So think to us, that will remain peaceful, but what we can do, all your various projects, go there, take picture, post it, congratulate our former president for doing these projects because they are not taking anything yet. Come to the finance minister, you know, this government is not financially, it's not economically disciplined. You can even bring our finance minister by Fabian Twelve to serve under the Ghana government. They will not be informed. I can assure you that, putting on the record, you can bring back our finance minister Fabian Twelve, and whosoever you will bring back, this government will not perform economically because they are not economically disciplined, they are not financially disciplined. They spend on what they have no need for spending money. You wasted money. So the 2.4 million. We want to get the money from where they will be waiting to give you money. Remember, IMF was here a couple of weeks ago. You know the discussion they have behind the scenes. They give you the money you wasted. Nothing is not going to happen. If it happens, that's it. But for what we are saying, nothing. Because the person that's going to champion the thing is the president. The president is like a president. The president is not here to push anything. So whatever you bring, you'll be on show really. There will not be no economic improvement.
Thank you.
For the next 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Edmund. Let's talk to Masisi. Masisi, good afternoon.
Well, I thought to begin with, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
Okay, might just say hi to my daughter.
I'm okay.
They asked my family.
It's Smalley Geller. You will be calling me.
Okay.
I said.
You know that she can call me Allah. Ain't Gus anymore. Remember the Allah now.
I know.
When I was there at the airport, I was there.
I know.
No, he said that was president. He said president. We are going to say, Martin, we will say, one for this. One for this. We were there president. So this is our president. We saw people carrying army people over there to go to organ protection for what? For the war now, we want to. What we are president. Come on, president, he carry army people to go down on the show for your president. I think the whole world saw it with them. It was not fair to us. It was not fair for the other people. Okay, that's not fair over them. I don't want to fall over there. So what can we have made of one to go up? They're taking it. They can find anybody. They're going to follow. You were there with the police. Over the place. Over the ground. You're out there. You're out your business. And people were right over Saturday. It was not one more. So the president, we are welcome by my son. Welcome my brother. Welcome my black president. We receive you all at the program will start putting everything. We're going to have president
Thank you, Masisi. Thank you very much for your contribution. Ilmana Small Woman. You always making people day. Let's talk to this person. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, bro William. How are you?
We are fine, thank you. And what's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, thank you. This is the people's governor. The whole talk about district number 10 governor Adam. So and I join you for my comfort district for the whole.
Okay, Adonso, you have a minute. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you. And let me say good morning to our brother in diaspora, and let me say good morning to our sister in studio. It was not easy this on Saturday for some of our, that were at the airport, but we are very much grateful to God for our leader because we were just, the excitement, my brother, the joy. You could just see some of our social media were carrying. We couldn't just be back to just see happening what we needed to be at the forefront. So we were at the airport, and we are very much grateful to God to see our leader back in the country. We pray that God will continue to strengthen here in family, and God will continue to protect our party. It is our prayer that some of you guys have supported people have many of about Mama Natura, that God will continue to protect you guys in the media because this challenge is not easy. Thank you.
Thank you, Adonso. Let's take this person on the female line. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, William.
Yeah, good afternoon.
And good afternoon, Esther.
Good afternoon.
Yeah,
Afternoon.
Gloria John from New Georgia.
It's good having you, Gloria. You sound like you're not well.
I told you the other day, I said, let's get right. Yeah. But we are pushing it somehow.
Amen.
Yeah, you see, I've just realized that the opposition is the one keeping it in this country. One government that they are driving all these things, so they don't have any voice to talk about keeping opposition. It's the opposition that is keeping it. And when I look at President Weah, I took President White, I giving President Weah more, a chance to win. Because this man is people centered. It's because of the people that he doesn't want. Because I see war. I just see war all over. And I realized when President Weah was in the army, child soldier, I believe sometimes when he think about this thing, he then just go back and say, we decide to do anything. Have his soul to be loved. Because he was there, taking guns for 10, 7 years old. And this is what Waka is in white people. Sometimes we sit down, we get so frustrated. You are almost pushed to the left, slow in the street and do it. And this is what Waka is doing. But I want to thank God for President Weah. And I believe he should continue on this path because Waka has already tried to vote on himself. It is his own people that will dethrone him. I finished saying it. And the opposition that has to be focused, and then everything we need to do to send the message of. But I think that this yellow machine is the one that will determine. Since it says 75% of Nigerians are illiterate, so they can just ride on us because no excuse, nothing they can say. The only word is the people need a machine. That's all. So we are going to tell them we believe we trust it. And then we are with this is the yellow machine that we tell whether Waka is in error or is in there or anything. Be ready for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. Thank you very much. I think we can squeeze in one or two more calls. This person will do. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Good afternoon, and the folks in the United States.
good afternoon, Blama Kamara.
Thank you for the recognition. And actually, a member of the civil rights movement. Brother Wendell, I saw a clear human rights violation yesterday. At the arrival of the president, meaning on Saturday. Meaning how would you be able to carry the army and to the international airport to cause war panic or war intimidations of peaceful citizens who want to welcome back and their political leader in the country. Are we practicing Afro America when opposition standing there have been shot? This is what they went for yesterday or on the day of the arrival of the former president, and things like that. Because we just witnessed what happened in the United States. So I think moving forward, we have to be mindful of oppositions candidates and presidential candidates need to be mindful because you have been saying of being so potential.
Lama, are you there? Oh, Lama, are you there? Lama, are you there? Oh, Lama, we didn't cut you off. You went off the line. Let's take this person. Hello? Yeah, how are you? Patricia. You give Patricia, you have to move away from your monitor now, please.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Let's hear you. All right, Patricia, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let's take our last call and then we go from here. Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Bamaya Kubana. I'm calling from Mount Patrick.
Go ahead, Vamoya. Let's hear you.
You know, they were very disappointed in part of government. We not told us that we'll bring it up into respond. We're going to be given into respond. We have to understand our political leader who you believe in, the Excellency, Dr. George Bana, we are going to be the budget salary at 3 p.m. So, finally, to all, we saw airfare to the airport. Why you get airfare there for? Why you get airfare there for? That people doesn't want to go see the political leaders. Then you get airfare there for what? Now I'm making the president of the airport. Now I'm making the president. Now I want to speak to them. They will deploy one to go weapon to the airport. And it was a not for that. We're not going to run the country like this. We are not enemy. We are brother and sister. No matter what differences can be. But what can airport to the airport now? What happened?
So intimidate
Now
you.
we're coming. They're not wanting that bringing. They're not best peaceful, but they want 1995 not following the president. You're not president at the time. They make them peaceful. You are in that. The men is coming to the country. Now the president will have a president coming. But this time around, the party, this day, and go, so our former president coming. We go, what money? They don't want to draw aircraft to the airport. That's why the police have not said we go to the airport. For what are you supposed to say? I just job there.
Okay.
The best you want to treat the country, I only president we are. There are no mass for president we are. No matter take it to be. When we tell you we'll get that, I will listen, get that. President we are our next president. I don't take it anything. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we
You
don't
see,
have time,
Odell.
but just keep playing the cash giveaway. We'll soon give you $4,000 each. Esther, before
Okay.
you come in, let's take this last caller. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, how are you? Yeah, quickly.
I'm calling for toiletry.
Yeah, man, let's hear you. Our last caller. Let's hear you quickly.
Just that taking for the right news, that Nigeria people taking question after what thing. But instead of going to the other toilet for a tree, I want to do that thing. Because they know that they are not, they now right there. But a friend of the other just take it against. But when I used to try it, I say I want to do it. That job that I understand. They said, but I want to see that forget what job we are.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Joseph Waka will
Yeah,
be
for that,
peaceful.
just before we go, I just want to say something quickly.
Mm.
Waka is behaving as if he's going to remain president forever.
Yeah.
One thing he keeps forgetting to know is that he's going to be former president. There's going to come a time that he will be former president. Do you want people to treat you the way you are treating other people?
But if Pape will be old and care.
I'm really shocked at his behavior. It's funny. To be honest, he behaves as if to say he's going to remain where he is forever. Ah.
Yeah. Well, folks, on that note, this is how we conclude this edition of the Print News. But we will go to Gus to get his parting comments, and then we say goodbye to you.
Right.
Yeah, you'll have a great day. Hopefully it's not raining. It can dry up a little bit. I myself going to work and put in my hours. Again, we'll talk tomorrow. Thanks.
Okay, so folks, that's all the time we've got to be with you on this edition of the Print News. You can join us tomorrow for the Tuesday presentation. God's willing, we'll be back here. But all roads lead to the borough of Nuclear Town now. As a matter of fact, what is happening there, we want to go get Every other team won over that. All the battle that is ongoing in the borough. Yeah, so Yucatan, we're coming. Let's go and see what is going to happen from now to the evening hours, because we've been told that the president appointment there in the borough, or his appointee, is supposed to be taking office today. But there are rules and regulations that govern the borough. The six nominated districts, all right, they're the ones supposed to do the vetting. When they do the vetting, they get the names of those and submit the names to the president. Then the president, in return, will do a selection and then nominate or appoint. That's how it should be. All right. But the folks are saying that the president disrespected them. He did not invite them to do the voting, and he just went about to appoint, Rabatier as the governor. And so they are saying it's a slap in your face. So they're not going to sit there and allow this thing to happen. Yeah, the borough's autonomous. So that's it. But we gotta go. We gotta go. As I gotta go there, go catch up with the happenings. So I'm on my way there.